Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Friday Coffee Klatsch. I am one of your presenters, Danny, and here, if you're new here at the Friday Coffee Klatsch, we're just here to keep you company. We are your background sound. I'm still waiting for my co host. I'm not sure why she's not quite here yet. So I thought maybe while we wait for her, we could play a little bit of words on stream. Let's see if I can get it pulled up. And then we could just play a little word game over your cup of coffee or tea or beverage of choice. Let's see. Let's see. Ooh, I heard a little beep in my ear. Is that her? Is she here? Hello.
Hello. Can you
Intro-
hear me?
Introduce yourself to the audience.
I want to make sure I am heard. You can hear me, yes?
I can hear you, yes.
Hello, I am Artemis or Maya, whichever you prefer, honestly.
And as I was saying, for those who are new here, we are an atmospheric podcast, video show, live stream, whatever term you use. We are your background sound. We are your mukbang without the food, especially since we ate a lot yesterday. We are here to keep you company while you're waiting to get in with your lawyer to talk about the child support that your deadbeat husband is not paying you.
He's not even
Yeah.
paying child support? Good thing she kicked him to the curb. Oh my goodness. She can do better.
We are here to, today especially, we are here to give you a soft landing after the busyness of the holidays. So, with that in mind, why don't we just go straight into the life update?
Let me actually pull up my thing.
So, do you want to, while you're pulling up your thing, I will start by saying that I almost forgot we were doing this today
How?
because because I got up and I played some video games with your siblings, and which we'll talk about later. And I was like, I told them last night, wake me up when it's time, if you decide to play video games this morning, and I'll play with you a little bit because I knew that your sister had to leave early to
Hmm.
catch her train. So, not early, but she had to leave here by 1 o'clock to catch her train. So, I'm not a morning person, but I was willing to get up to play with them if they wanted to play before they left. So, yes, much better with the light. So, I got up, just had my nightgown on, just put my bathrobe on, sat downstairs, played with them for a little while, and then after they got done, it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna get some food, and then my husband's not gonna be home until 7 or 8. So I've got time to take a nap after I eat my food. This will be nice. I'm so tired. I'm not gonna go I'm going to wait until tomorrow. Since today is officially a holiday for most work office workers anyway, I can wait till tomorrow to work. It's all right for me not to work today. So, not feel guilty about it or whatever. So I'm like, yes, I'm going to go upstairs. And so I'm fixing my food and everything. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, I can't wait to talk to Maya on Friday. And we can, on the video stream on Friday, we can talk about how our Thanksgivings went and everything. And I'm planning in my head what the video is going to be like on Friday. And I happened to look at the clock on my stove, which I had not changed. And the clock said 2:30. And I'm like, wait a minute, today is Friday. But luckily, I had not changed the clock on the stove, so it was actually 1:30. But just seeing
Hmm.
2:30 and thinking about the video, and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute! Today's Friday. Today's the day we're going to talk about Thanksgiving." So then I did hurry up and snarf my food down, throw some clothes on. So I was almost not here on time, but so do you want to talk about your Thanksgiving first or shall I talk about mine?
Mine will be easy. I sat in here and crocheted and watched Game Theory about Five Nights at Freddy's and ate Subway.
The
Mixed
berry
berry.
mixed berry sweet tea. It's the diet.
I haven't had mixed berry yet. Is that one good?
Yes. I think your father and I both prefer this one over most of the other
The
ones.
diet mixed berry. Okay, I might go. I might try that one.
Um I thought you were doing a Friendsgiving and y'all were cooking and
We were going to, but then after the wedding and everything yesterday, and we have no money, and no one wanted to cook anyway, and so we just got
mm,
Subway. They were doing like a buy one get one dealio, so we just had Subway.
okay. And you're not sad about that, right?
No.
Okay, cool. Because that's kind of how our Thanksgiving went. Um, we normally order, we started about 2, 3 years ago. For those who are new, we started about 2, 3 years ago where we order a prepared meal because it's just me, my husband, and my youngest child, who is an adult over 21. So it's just three adults in the house. And we have some elderly relatives in town, but they all have kids of their own and they go to those relatives and stuff. So we don't really have, my mother doesn't live here. My husband's mother has passed. So there's not really anybody that we need to go to or answer to or anything like that. Anybody who's going to miss us at their table. So for the past few years, we've just ordered a prepared meal from Golden Corral, and that was fine. We had lots of leftovers though. And, you know, since Maya Artemis does not come down and Sydney had, I mean, no shade, not trying to make you feel guilty, just saying you have your life. Sydney has a partner and she goes to eat with their people. So we just had Chloe who decided to come down. And so I was like, and for the past few years I've gotten to where I don't really care about Thanksgiving food anyway. All the traditional, the ham and the stuffing and the macaroni and cheese and all that kind of stuff. I don't really care about that stuff very much. Um, well, macaroni and cheese. I mean, everybody likes macaroni and cheese, but honestly, the baked macaroni and cheese is not really. I'm good with the creamy macaroni and cheese you get out of the box, honestly, if you get a good one. So I don't. The baked macaroni and cheese is not necessarily my thing, and the stuffing and all of that. But anyway, last year we had a lot of leftovers in the refrigerator, and your brother's been doing meal prep, so our refrigerator's usually full, every week anyway. And my husband took one look in the refrigerator and said to me that morning, he said, "You know what? I think this year we won't. Let's not order the Golden Corral thing. Let's just do a small meal because I'm not really in the mood to having all those leftovers in the refrigerator and us struggling to eat up all those leftovers." Which because we ended up eating basically the same meal, in different combinations of foods for like 4 or 5 days. And you know me,
Mm-hmm.
I get tired of it after, and I was tired of it before it even started. So we said, okay, we're gonna do a small meal. So, and he said to me, he said, maybe roast the chicken. I said, now roast chicken that I can do. So yes, roast the chicken. And I don't do it very often, but when I do it, it turns out very well. So roasted chicken, and he said maybe a small macaroni and cheese, and um, some mashed potatoes and some greens. And I was like, okay, good, perfect. So your brother and I bought the stuff for like a small macaroni and cheese. I was going to do this recipe that went viral on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I bought the ingredients for it and everything. Last minute, I'm thinking to myself, maybe I didn't buy enough because we didn't know until a few days before whether your sister was going to be able to come down.
Yeah.
So So I, for some reason in my head, I was buying enough food for three. And then I thought, well, maybe there's not going to be enough food for four. And so we got the chicken, we got some ham steaks to make sure there would be enough meat. Um, and we I got the stuff in macaroni and cheese, got some instant mashed potatoes, we had some canned greens, we're good. We Your brother added a frozen pie and made a banana pudding. We're good. Night before Thanksgiving, your father comes home with all the stuff for macaroni and cheese. And I guess and part of me knew he was going to buy something the night before because no matter what we say we're going to do, he gets a I don't know what it is. He gets a kind of like I was almost having like last minute, oh no, there's not going to be enough food. And
Mm-hmm.
then he'll go out and buy more. So he bought the stuff for macaroni and cheese. And I went down, I heard him coming in later than usual. I went down, futzing in the kitchen and went downstairs. I said, I knew you were buying more food. What did you buy? And I saw him making macaroni and cheese. I'm like, I bought all the stuff for macaroni and cheese. I was gonna make the macaroni and cheese. Now, to be fair, I don't have the energy to stand over the stove, but I had been psyching myself up all week to make to roast the chicken and make the macaroni and cheese. Those were gonna be
Mm-hmm.
my two tasks, and anything else, Isaac was gonna handle. I said, I'm gonna make the macaroni and cheese. I'm gonna make the macaroni and cheese. And he said, but I didn't see that you bought anything. And I said, I didn't see and I didn't see any macaroni in the cabinet. I went and I got the macaroni. I got this curly Q macaroni because that is what was in the viral video. And
Mm-hmm.
the girl was talking about, oh, I think this holds on to the cheese better
Oh, but
with this shape or whatever.
that's not the
So
kind of
he's
noodles that daddy gets. So he's like, you
no,
didn't buy it.
yeah, exactly. He saw those curly cues in there. He said, "I didn't see any elbow macaroni." I said, "We have this. This is a whole box of it. That's not elbow macaroni." He said it 5 times. That's not elbow macaroni. I'm like, okay.
That's not elbow macaroni. It doesn't work. You're not making macaroni.
But not only that, but I had like 4 things of cheese down in the bottom. So he bought 4 more things of cheese. So now we have all this cheese. And then he bought milk. He bought another pie when your brother had bought a pie because he didn't see the pie in the freezer. So I don't think he looked at anything because now we have
That's
extra milk,
hilarious.
we have extra pie, but it gets better. Your sister gets here yesterday and she's got all
Mm-hmm.
of these bags with Lidl on them. I'm like, why do you have all these bags? She came down on the train, by the way. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, why do you have all these bags? Well, you said you didn't want leftovers in your refrigerator, so I want left because after your father and I had this discussion, I talked to your brother about how oh, we're having a small meal because we don't want leftovers, and he's like, "But I want leftovers."
Oop.
I'm sad I'm not going to get leftovers. So that's why I also thought, well, maybe I should order more food.
Mm-hmm.
And but then your brother talked me out of it, which is good because then your father bought more food. So your father made
Mm-hmm.
the macaroni, so I didn't have to make the macaroni. So all I had to do was make the chicken, which the chicken turned out mwah, perfect.
You good?
Um, and but your sister comes in, and remember, your sister works at like a warehouse store. So your sister
Mm-hmm.
came in with a bag of fresh potatoes,
Oop.
a box of, you know how Jiffy cornbread comes in these little boxes like
Mm-hmm.
this? She
She got an
came in
industrial
with
size
a
box.
box of Jiffy cornbread just like this. I didn't even know they made them in those boxes. And a big bag of, the dry um it's not stovetop stuffing, it's another brand, but it's you know what it is. It's like the
Yeah.
dry breadcrumbs with the seasoning in it that you add the butter and the water to make stuffing.
Yeah.
Yeah, big bag of that and some um cranberry sauce that Sydney's partner made for me because she made it last year and I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
So they sent that down again this year. And potato salad, a big container of potato salad. And she brought containers. Chloe brought containers. It's like, so if there's any leftovers, I'll just take the leftovers back home with me. So you don't have to have leftovers in your refrigerator.
So y'all ended up with so much food.
So yes, we still had a whole spread, but to be fair, there's still not a lot of food. We had the chicken, we had the ham, we had the macaroni and cheese. I stuffed
Mm-hmm.
the chicken with stovetop stuffing because I had a box of stovetop stuffing. So we didn't open Chloe's stuffing, but I used
Mm-hmm.
my box of stovetop stuffing to stuff in the chicken, and that's very good. I would do that again. I've never had the
Okay.
stuffing stuffed in the chicken before, but I would do that again. That was good. Um, I bought a sweet potato casserole, a frozen sweet potato casserole that I put
Mm-hmm.
in cooked in the microwave. That was good. Your brother made a big macaron I mean banana pudding, and that's
Mm-hmm.
almost gone. There's like maybe 4 servings of it left, and I haven't even had any yet because Chloe, true to her word, got her container out and took a big old bowl of it home to share with Sydney and V. So we really don't have any leftovers in the fridge. We have like maybe half of that chicken left, enough to have another meal and then use the carcass to make some chicken broth, which I
Mm-hmm.
plan to do. And I opened up a can of greens, so we still have a little bit of the greens left. Chloe made fresh mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes are gone. Um, So most of that stuff is gone. We have a little bit of stuff left, but not enough to feel like, oh my god. Oh, and your father made um corn pudding. Okay.
Okay.
I made corn pudding 2 years ago. Everybody tasted one spoon of it and then nobody ate any more of it. I ended up eating that whole I made it like in a square 8x8 pan that I have, and I ended up
Mm-hmm.
eating all the rest of it myself over the rest of the week because I didn't want it to go to waste. And then, I mean, it tasted good, but also nobody else was eating it. So
Uh-huh.
I ended up eating it for a week. So I didn't make it again. 2 years later, your father comes in. This is again evidence of how your father is late to stuff. Your father comes in, y- um, Wednesday night and says, I saw somebody on Facebook. It was no, not Facebook, Instagram Reels, because he doesn't do TikTok. He watches Instagram Reels. I
Yeah.
saw somebody on Instagram Reels do this recipe and I thought I'd try it because it looks simple. And I saw him pouring that stuff in the bowl. I said, what are you putting in this bowl? And he told me all the ingredients. I said, I made that 2 years ago and none of y'all would eat it. And he cooked it. We all ate it at the table. Everybody talked about how good it was. I said, "Yep, tastes just like it did when I made it 2 years ago. It was good 2 years ago too."
The shade.
I made it and nobody ate it. I have the reputation in this family, at least with your father, of not being a very good cook. Nobody eats my food. Okay, I cook stuff and it's always, well, you could have added some more salt or uh, uh, I'm surprised everybody liked the chicken. At least that's one thing I do well is the chicken.
Mm-hmm.
So so that was our Thanksgiving. I'll tell you more about it when we get down in our other topics. But you went to a wedding this week.
I did go to a wedding. If you'll turn your attention to the Discord, everyone who follows the Discord, I put the pictures in the Discord instead of sending it to the messenger. That way they can be, just chilling
Okay.
there. But if you want to go there and pull them up,
Okay, I'll
and
do
then,
that.
yeah,
Okay. For those, I am not wearing a cape, people. I am a woman of a certain age, and so I am.
Chloe is watching us on the train.
I was wondering who was watching us because we're not in the thing.
Yeah, because I don't see Ronald or anybody. Yeah,
Well, I mean, you remember eating my corn pudding. They keep saying they remember eating it. All I remember is that I ate a lot of that corn pudding by myself that year.
it was
But
not a year that I was there because I know I would not have eaten it. That is not my bag.
but okay. So yeah, I figured Ari and Ronald and whoever else they have, lives. It's the
Yeah,
day
they're
after
probably busy.
Thanksgiving.
Today's Ari's birthday, so Ari's probably out doing stuff.
Oh, I didn't know today was his birthday.
I didn't either until Facebook came out. I don't remember people's birthdays. Facebook tells me because that is just too many dates for me to try to keep in my head.
Well, Feliz cumpleaños, Ari. Okay, so
Chloe,
let's
can you edit and throw like just some like a birthday cake dancing across the bottom and then some like confetti popping around?
okay.
Discord. So that's my outfit. I tried to get better pictures. It was overcast all day. And so it was like, because the green in the tights is a brighter green. But it showed it, all the pictures. For some reason, my camera was like, you clearly wanted this to look like dark and moody, right? So that's just how all the pictures turned out. But that was my outfit. I was happy with how it turned out. Yeah, I was glad that it all came together. And for the things that I bought, the tights, I recommend. I am wearing them literally right now. Let me see if I can.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, the tights are super comfy. I didn't have to worry about them falling down the entire time because, you know, sometimes you'll wear tights and they'll sit for like a minute, but as you're like walking around and doing stuff, then they'll start to fall down. The tights I recommend. They were perfect. I'm still wearing them today. That's my makeup that I did. And then I made a beret and I made a little keyhole scarf that I actually have sitting right over here. Oh, okay. I thought I was going to drop a bunch of stuff. But I made the beret literally 2 days before. I'm not going to put it on because I already have on a hat and stuff. But I feel like it turned out really well, as you can see from the pictures. I feel like it turned out really well. It looks very good with that wig. And then keyhole scarf. It's just a little scarf with two like arrows essentially. And then I put the little keyhole in it and I wore it all night. And the keyhole scarf was a good call. One, because it looks cute and it matched with the beret. Two, it was freezing. It was so cold. Everyone, like literally everyone thought it was going to be a little bit warmer, but it got so cold that they had blankets. So whenever we were doing the ceremony, they had blankets sitting behind all the seating for the elderly and then me and my new friend Sam.
So where were you guys? Was this like in a barn? Was it in a big auditorium? It was in a barn.
Yeah, so there was a barn, and that's where like dinner and everything was, and then down out of the barn down a hill. If you flip through the pictures, there should be a picture where you can kind of see, and I'll explain. But there was like just outside the barn down a hill, there was a lake, and then on the lake basically is where the ceremony was held. But there's me and Wayne, and you can kind of see the color of the tights there. That's the brightest picture that we got. That was the only time all day that the sun came out. I was like, the sun is out. Let me get some pictures.
Wayne in a pair of proper pants and a tie. Be still my heart.
He wanted to wear a kilt, but the kilt that he got in didn't fit. And we were both upset because he wanted to wear a kilt. He's glad now that he didn't wear a kilt because he would have been freezing. But he wore a kilt and they got the pictures of the boys. I'm waiting for the professional pictures to come in because these pictures are pictures that I took. And then we at one point stole the bride and groom's cell phones. And by stole, I mean one of the groomsmen or the best man was holding their phones during the ceremony because they didn't have to deal with all of that. And then after the ceremony, we all went back up the hill and we're chilling in the barn, and they had like a little moment to themselves in the bridal suite, like just chilling and talking, and I like after the ceremony and everything. And so while they were in there, we took their cell phones and ran around taking pictures with everybody on their phones.
Y'all are so silly. Oh, that's a good picture.
Yeah, well, I had to wear a sweater because it got so cold. I had like my outfit, and then you saw I had a little shawl that went with it, but it was so cold. I wore the sweater like I wanted to wear have just like my outfit during the ceremony so we could get pictures. And I was like, I got my few pictures earlier. It was literally so cold, so I wore my sweater for the whole like rest of everything. But luckily, I had a decent.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like, luckily, I had a sweater that looks pretty decent. So, but you can keep flipping through the pictures. And there's me and Wayne. So there you can see right there is on the lake. So that's right there is where.
That looks like a prom picture.
It does. It fully does. I kept saying, "Oh, this is us prom 2023," and that's
Okay,
me and my
you look like me right now with my blanket
yes.
on.
That is me and my new friend Sam, and we bonded because Sam is so Wayne was one of the groomsmen, and Sam's partner was also one of the groomsmen, and so we like didn't have anybody to sit with, and I was an usher, so while I handed out or I kind of guided people to the seats and was like immediate family in the front 2 rows, everybody else, if you want to see Kate, sit on this side, if you want to see Kaylin, sit on this side, and like guide everybody. And then I was like, Sam, I'm actually going to sit right next to you because I have no idea. Yeah, she's like, sure. And so we fully bonded, and we were like we were sitting and we were watching the ceremony. Our friend Andy got what's the word, qualified, anointed, what's the word,
Um,
she got whatever it's called so that she could
uh,
officiate she could officiate the ceremony.
mhm.
And the ceremony was our DM getting married to our other friend who's in our D&D group. One of the people in the D&D group was officiating. Her partner, who's also in the D&D group, was the best man, and then Wayne was also one of the groomsmen, and then I was the usher. So our whole D&D group was there. but so But me and Sam were sitting in the back and we bonded. And these are pictures that I pulled straight from her Instagram. But you can see Wayne in the middle there, and then Sam, and then her partner. And then in the burgundy is Andy, who is officiating. And then on the far end is Hunter, Andy's partner, who is the best man. And then Alvin was one of the other groomsmen who's in between Wayne and Hunter. But we were sitting in the back and we were like hanging in there, super chill. And then Kate came out and we all turned around to see her in her dress. And then Sam and I both looked at each other and they're like, she's like, are you? And I was like, yes, are you? And she's like, yeah. And we were crying. We were crying as soon as she came out. But there's Kaylin and Kate. There's the bride and the groom. I loved her dress. They looked so good. Her dress, it had like floral, like flower stuff kind of going all the way down. And she wore like a little flower crown. She looked like a forest spirit. It was gorgeous. So cute. And then we circle back. Yes, it was so nice. I took notes of things that I wanted to say about the wedding. Well, I made notes after the fact. Let me see. What did I say? Because I'm sure there were things that I wanted to mention. Where is my Google Keep?
Chloe does not know how to get to our Discord, so you need to tell her how to do that later.
Ooh, the Discord. Ooh, I will put a link to the Discord in the chat. And then we will also, the Discord we may have stopped linking the Discord in the doobly-doo, but I will.
I know I don't ever put it in the doobly-doo, so you can put it in the doobly-doo if you want to.
I'll go back and put it in the doobly-doo. Can you, since you have easy access to the chat, because it won't let me get into the chat on the computer, can you link to the Discord in the chat? So Chloe and anybody in the chat can happen?
I don't know how to do that, but I'll try.
I believe in you. I believe in the power of you.
I don't know how to do that.
Where are my notes about the wedding?
Invite server, create channel, show all channels.
You should be able to.
I don't know how to get I don't know how to get a link. I don't see an option here for getting a link. I know how to get a link for a website. I don't see an option for getting a link.
Okay. So if you're in the Coffee Klatsch thing, you should have. If you click the 3 little dots, do you get the thing that says invite? Can you see?
I see the invite people. Yes.
Okay, so click that, and it should be able to bring up a coffee link or invite link.
I'm so mad at myself that I didn't figure that out. Okay.
And make sure we need to change. Okay, I changed the link settings so that
it says the link expires in 7 days. I think that's why we stopped putting the link in there.
Well, I had changed it so that it would never expire, but I just changed it again. So maybe if you go back out and go back in, it should. Or you can maybe go in and change it so that it doesn't expire. But we'll get you in there, Chloe.
Look like I know how to do these things.
Here, copy link. I got it. We're just I need to mute my YouTube so that it doesn't.
No, I've already copied the link. I've already copied the link. I will put it in there. I'm just saying, editing the link is not a thing that I know how to do, but I can do it later.
Okay, we'll do it later.
I mean, I'm not as hopeless people who are watching with technology as I sound. I know I sound like your mother, your grandmother who does not know how to use technology. I taught all of these
I
children how to use
I have
technology.
full faith
I,
that you can do the things. You just don't want to put your brain power towards a website you don't understand. I
well,
have
yeah,
full
yeah,
faith that you can do this.
yeah, it's two things. It's one, I got to a point where okay, all the technology past Snapchat is for the young people now and not me. So
Snapchat is the line.
anything I learned of after Snapchat is not for me. And that includes Snapchat because I've never done Snapchat. So
Oop,
I feel like all this stuff is not for me, but then I broke that when I got on TikTok. But also trying to figure this out while I'm doing a live stream is not optimal.
it's true. Very true. That I understand. Okay, so wedding. I was an usher. I said that I greeted people at the door, and and I was an usher with Kate's brother, Kate the bride. I was an usher with Kate's brother, and we just like greeted people at the door, helped people figure out where to sit. And there was one of the things they wanted the ceremony to be not just between them, but like to celebrate like with the community of people that they had there. And so there was a point in the ceremony where they had unity bracelets. And so me and the other usher, we got up and we handed out all of these bracelets to everybody. And so the bride and groom have bracelets, all the groomsmen and bridesmaids have bracelets, and then everybody from the audience, everybody, not audience, everybody from the I guess audience,
The
everybody.
congregation.
Thank you. The congregation celebrating the ceremony. We all got bracelets, and so we all have bracelets from the thing. It was very cute.
Oh, lovely.
Yes. I cried. Wayne cried. It was, and especially Wayne was like tearing up. I could see him tearing up on like while he was like part of the ceremony. But then after the fact, when we had dinner, and so that picture of me and my friend sitting bundled up in our little shawls, that was us sitting right in front of the fireplace because it was so cold. Because they had these big industrial heaters that have like a kerosene tank at the bottom, and then it like has a little heater at the top. And so those were scattered kind of around the tables, but they weren't at the head table. And so me and Wayne ate our dinner, and like all of us sitting at the head table, we like ate our dinner, and then me and Sam bundled up in our little blankets that we had from the ceremony and went and sat directly in front of the fireplace. Like we were right behind the bride and groom. And so in some of the pictures, I'm sure, and the photographer kept looking at us, and I looked back. It was like, I'm not kidding up. It's so cold. She didn't ask us to move. I'm like, because we and then other people were like, if they want us to move out of the pictures, they'll ask us to move. And so we were prepared to move. We were asked, and she like gave us eyeballs, but didn't say anything. So I was like, I'm gonna stay right here because we were directly behind the bride and groom at the head table because it was so cold, like absolutely freezing. But so we were sitting there while the parents were giving their speeches, and the parents started getting choked up, which got me a little choked up, but I could hear Wayne right next to me, like off to the side, sniffling when the parents started getting choked up. And I was like, oh, the boy cried. It was amazing. Let's see. I made a new friend, Sam. I mentioned that. It was freezing. I mentioned that. The venue was gorgeous. I wish I had gotten more pictures of it, but one, my hands are cold, and two, I was like kind of walking around trying to help out. So like I said, when we get, hey, Ari, when we get, what are my words? When we get the professional pictures in, I say we as if I am part of the bridal party. I'm absolutely not. I'm just expecting them to post them on Facebook and stuff. But when those come in, then I will also share those so you guys can see, because the venue was absolutely gorgeous. It was so nice. If it had not been as chilly, it would have been easier to kind of get pictures of it. But I also, I'm going to send one more picture to the Discord that I forgot to send. But I gave Kate, the bride, a crochet bouquet. Like I came in and while she was getting ready, I gave her one of the, like, because I'd been making all those flowers, I made a separate bouquet and gave her just a little mini bouquet that I will get in here.
You're putting that
Hang on.
in.
It's going in the Discord, yeah.
So I got to pull that back up.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
But I gave her a bouquet, and then she loved it. She was very happy with it, which I was happy about, because I was like, I feel weird giving her another bouquet when she, I'm sure, already has a bouquet for her like wedding stuff. But like I felt like it would be like a nice thing, and then she could like hold on to that one because the flowers won't die.
Uh-huh.
But I gave her the bouquet, and then her mom after the fact came over and was like, "You're Maya, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "You're the one that made the bouquet." And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "It is so nice. I can tell you put a lot of work into it and everything."
That
And
looks
then
good. Wrapped up in the paper and everything,
mhm.
that looks good.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I was a little worried that the paper would look kind of like bad because it's just tissue paper, but it kind of brings the whole thing together. I
Well,
feel
the
like.
tissue paper makes it look like real flowers that you got from the florist shop.
Mm-hmm. So Kate's mom came up and was like, the bouquet is really nice. And then she was talking to Kate's aunt and she's like, oh my goodness, you have to see the bouquet that she gave her. And then she's like, do you mind if I show it off? And I was like, sure, whatever. And so she went and like showed the aunt the bouquet. And then somebody else after the fact when we were hanging out was like, are you the one that made the bouquet? It looks very nice. Like, so she's been apparently showing it off to everybody. I was like, really nice. But while when we first got there, because we got there super early because the I think like everybody had in their head, you know how in weddings and movies, there's always the groomsmen are like getting ready and they're rushing and they're like, where's his tie? And like, oh, we forgot his coat back at the house and like running around. And
Uh-huh.
so everybody got there so early. We were done. The guys were done hours before anything had to get started because everybody was afraid that they were going to be like panicking and having things to do. Got ready so fast, literally so fast. And so I was expecting all this time to be just like sitting around doing stuff. And so I brought my crochet stuff with me and I was working on some more flowers because I've got 2 markets this weekend. And so I was working on some more flowers. And then at one point we went to do something. And so I sat my stuff down. I put my crochet hook in my hat so I wouldn't lose it because I was planning on getting back to my crochet, but then I never circled back around to it. And then people kept asking like, oh, did you make your hat? Did you make your hat? And I was like, yes, I did make a hat. And they're like, yeah, I can tell. And I was like, huh? And they're like, you've got a crochet hook in your hat, in your head. And I was like, ah. Thank you. I was really afraid that I was doing too much because I didn't want to look like I was trying to overshadow anybody. I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to look nice. And so I was afraid that I was doing too much, but when I got there, Kate was like, you look amazing. Thank you for looking so nice at the thing. And I was like, thank you. And then Caitlin, the groom, also said the same thing. Like, thank you for like serving when you came to the wedding. And I was like, thanks. um, I fully lost track. Oh yeah. So I had a crochet hook in my hat all night, literally all night. Cause I never put it back. It was tucked in there and I all night. Yeah, it was hilarious. But yeah, that was the wedding. It was nice.
So are we moving on to, let me see. Before we get to, um, I want to say market recap for last because that leads into
Yes.
our yarny thoughts. But I just wanted to point out that
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna move. First of all, do you have a heart out today?
No. No.
Let's do a little bit of housekeeping while we're here up at the top. Are we starting on Wednesdays next week?
Um. Okay, so we got to sort that out. I was gonna talk to you after the fact, or I was gonna talk to you before the fact and then forgot. So I wanted to start on Wednesdays next week, but because I have a wedding, or not wedding, because I have a market this Sunday, I now have to work on Wednesday.
Okay.
And my work shift falls right during the time when we would normally stream. So we could either take a break next week and not stream on Wednesday or Friday, or we could stream one more Friday, even though we were supposed to start on Wednesday like 2 weeks ago. We could stream one more Friday and then start on Wednesdays in December.
Hmm. Well, we've already told our few loyal people that we were going to start on Wednesdays.
We did.
So maybe we should take a break next week and then start in December.
Okay, that sounds good to me. And we'll just throw in a little message on the page.
A message on the community thing, and if I can summon up the energy and the content, maybe no promises, but maybe I'll throw a pre-recorded video or do some words on stream or something on Wednesday
Oh yeah, maybe you and I can just pre-record a quick video or something on Sunday.
or something. We'll see if I can summon up the energy.
Yeah.
But so that little bit of housekeeping out of the way. Um, if I do it, it'll be 10 a.m. on Wednesday, Ari. If I do words on stream, it'll be 10 a.m. on Wednesday.
Because that's when we're going to start streaming is 10 a.m. on Wednesdays.
So, um, also, I wanted to bring this shower thought up from the bottom, even though this is the life update. I just wanted to bring this shower thought up from the bottom while I'm still thinking about it and
Mm-hmm.
get it out of the way. This is going to be all over the place, whoever's watching this, because I don't really have a bunch of stuff written down, but I have random thoughts running around in my head. So this whole stream is all over the place, although we're trying to stay organized. Um,
As if we're ever organized.
yeah, well, some days most days, most weeks, we have so much stuff we want to cover on the list that we are trying hard to get to all the stuff. This week, I don't really have a bunch of stuff on the list, but I have things in my head, but I didn't know how to
Mm.
put them on the list because I couldn't even come up with a one line to put them on the list. So whatever. Um, but my shower thought I had at the bottom was how I miss all the website dramas. And part of this has to do with, excuse me, part of this has to do with the whole thing about Ravelry. Now, I have been on Ravelry.
Mm-hmm.
I have been a member of Ravelry since it started. Like literally, I looked it up again when I watched that video about Ravelry drama. I've been on it since about 6 months since they made it, public to everybody. Roughly, I mean, within the first 6 months of them
Mm-hmm.
getting it open. So I've been on it for a long time. Um, I don't ever see any of this stuff.
Right? How do people find this drama?
And I think what it is the fact, because the same thing people talk about when I watch videos on um YouTube on what they call booktube. People
Mm-hmm.
who read romance novels and stuff like that, and they talk about all the misbehaviors of people on Goodreads. I don't ever see any of that either. I don't, and I think part of it is that I don't I don't use either of those sites, or most of these sites that I use. I don't use them for the forums.
Yeah.
So I don't see this stuff because I don't get into the forums. The only place where I got where that ever used for community back in the day was Twitter and Facebook, where there was nothing to do on there but read other people's messages. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole purpose of those things. So that's what I use them for. But when Goodreads came along, and I was an early adopter of Goodreads too, and when Goodreads came along, I adopted that specifically so that I could make lists of the books I wanted to borrow from the library, so that I didn't have to keep up with all these random pieces of paper that I would scribble down the title of a book I wanted to remember and shove it in my purse, and then I'd
Mm-hmm.
lose them because I'm not the kind of person who keeps a little notebook in my purse or anything. Well, I am now, but I didn't used to be. I would just grab little scraps, envelopes, or whatever, and just if I heard something on the radio or on TV about a book title, I said, "Oh, I want to read that book. That sounds interesting," and I'll write it down and shove it in my purse for the next time I went to the library.
Mm-hmm.
So I would forget stuff all the time, and then Goodreads came along and it's like, "Oh, I can make a list of all these books that I've been hearing about," and that's how I would remember stuff to go check it out at the library.
Yeah.
I never went on the forums. I mean, I tried and I looked into it, and it I don't know, something about it was confusing to me,
Well,
or
also,
it
both
was
of those sites to me seem like the kind of thing that are for yourself personally unless you're looking for something. Like the only reason that I would go into the forums is if I was like, is anybody else having trouble with this pattern? Or does anybody else think that this book has low key racist undertones or something? Like something that like I'm trying to see if this is just me or if everybody else has this opinion. But unless I come up with something that is like that is causing me to halt, I would have no reason to look in the forums.
See, and for stuff like that, I don't look in the forums. Like if it was a book and I was like here's a perfect example. I read a book not too long ago. I can't remember the title of it off top hand, but it wasn't straight out romance. It was more women's fiction, and
Mm-hmm.
it was set in London, and I was enjoying it, and the main character was like mixed race or whatever, and there was this, and I was enjoying it. It was like, oh yes, good, because up until that point, practically everything I read, the heroes and heroines were white,
Mm-hmm.
and and I mean, nothing wrong with that. I didn't. It was on me for not making the effort to look for. I just picked up a book that looked interesting to me and read it. I didn't look, and
Mm-hmm.
so I um what are the words I'm trying to say? So,
Heroin mixed race.
heroin mixed race. I'm enjoying the book, and then all of a sudden we get to a part where she's talking about her hair, and it's like something about the way she's talking about her hair. And
Means
it wasn't just, oh, I took my hair and pulled it up in a bun. It was, oh, I went to it. I mean, she went into it about how she had trouble finding a hairdresser in London who could do her hair properly and blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, it was almost right.
but something about it was clearly like you heard this story secondhand from someone else but have not experienced this.
Yeah. It was almost right, but not quite. And so I went, but instead of going to Goodreads to find out if anybody else had this issue or thought bad about it, I went online to see if the author was black or not. I just went on Google to look and see if the author was black. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go in the forums to ask a question or anything. I just, I think now that I'm saying this, I remember why I stopped using the forums or whatever on Goodreads. I think there was a forum about a particular book that I read, and I said something about how I didn't like it, or
Ooh, and did they jump on you for like no reason?
and they said something about, well, it basically they were saying it's too bad that you're not smart enough to appreciate a difficult book, that books shouldn't be easy for you to read. Books shouldn't always just be easy for you to read. You need to struggle through a book to strengthen your brain or some crap. And I felt so bad for, I mean, I'm even now I still have a a part where I feel funny about what I read, because I read 95% romance. And so I still feel funny about what I read. So,
But
but
if that's what you enjoy,
back then I felt even more guilty and ashamed that I read romance a lot, or that I read genre fiction a lot, and that I didn't like literary fiction, that it was
right?
just
In
too
it,
much struggle for me. And so then when I felt very called out by that comment, and so
yeah,
I just kind of left the forums after that. But
yeah.
same thing
Internet
with,
assholes are why I do not post comments on like YouTube videos or anything like that because I'm like, I do not have the energy for somebody to be saying some shenanigans. I just don't.
yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. And with Ravelry, it's even less, because Ravelry, I mean, there was a brief period on Ravelry where I kind of participated in one of the MS forums on there, where it wasn't really talking about yarn, it was talking about MS. But for the
Mm-hmm.
most part, with the yarn stuff, I was, and the MS forum, the only reason I left that was because I went through a period where where I stopped taking medication and I don't have the heavy symptoms that a lot of people in that forum had, so I didn't really have anything to contribute. So I just kind
Hmm.
of left after that. But like with patterns and stuff, so many people are snobbish about using red heart and stuff that tend to not I tend to stay away from most yarn related things because they're snobby about the kind of yarn they use. And so
Right.
I can't be around people who are snobby about the yarn they use because I'm going to use cheap yarn and that's that.
Hmm.
You know, I don't want to hear somebody and not only that, but I just can't relate when I watch. That's why I've gotten to the point where I almost watch more um I watch more crochet videos than knitting videos because the crocheters tend to be more likely to use Red Heart and Lion Brand and
Hmm.
yarns that I can relate to because crochet just eats up so much yarn that it is not
You can't
economical.
be.
It's not
Yeah.
economical to use these fancy yarns that you use in knitting. And so I can't relate to anymore to watching knitting videos where people are using this hand dyed, hand spun that costs $20 a hank and a hank will barely get you one sock. It's
Yeah.
like I can't. I just can't. But what was the other drama that I missed? There was some other drama that it was like I don't basically I don't hear about the dramas until other people are reacting to the drama. It's like
Yeah.
even
Until
if
somebody's
I
making a video about it.
yeah, even if it's like something like TikTok where I use that TikTok or whatever, I still and I follow in that general area of like
Hmm.
crochet TikTok or cooking TikTok or whatever, I still miss the drama. I'm never following
Two
the people who who are the
who
drama.
are messy.
The only drama I caught recently was the Keith Lee drama because I follow Keith Lee.
I didn't see it. I haven't been on TikTok in like 2 weeks, so I do not know anything about that. What is going on with? Give me like Cliff Notes, TLDR.
Okay, basically, oh, I follow Cliff Notes Gal, by the way, and I like her a lot. She summarizes all these dramas for me and it makes it
Yes.
easy. I like her. But um basically Keith Lee, because he's gotten so popular in his area of Las Vegas, he started visiting other big cities and
Hmm.
reviewing some of the restaurants in those cities to try to because basically I don't know if you watch Keith Lee's videos,
Yeah,
but
but
basically
people know him when he walks in a store.
yeah, and basically, you know, he tries to go to the small mom and pops and bring them more attention, and then he brings them attention, and then they get lines out the door for days
And
and
they get
days.
overwhelmed. Yeah.
So these are, you know, so he went to Atlanta. He went his first place on the tour was Chicago, and they did a whole thing about which place did the chicken sauce better or something, and they took it good naturedly, and
Yeah.
it was fine. He went to Atlanta and he tried to visit a few of these Atlanta restaurants, and they have these crazy rules about we don't do takeout, you can't call in your order, we're only open on the third Thursday of the month, and just crazy stuff.
Yeah.
They act like they're a club, you
Uh huh.
know, it rather than a restaurant. So he went to like 2 or 3 big restaurants that had asked him to come, and and you know he doesn't order his food because
He.
they know him, so
They know who he is. Yeah.
he wants to get an unbiased thing, so he sends people on his staff who have never been on camera to go in and get the food and to order the
Yeah.
food over the phone. And so when those people tried to order from these restaurants who had asked for him, they got the whole BS of like, you know, well, it's going to be a 2-hour wait and you can't sit in the lobby, you need to go sit in your car and we'll text you when your food's ready, and just all kinds of crazy stuff. And then on one of the restaurants he went in, and all of a sudden the 2-hour wait turned into 5 minutes, and they had a table for him and all this other stuff, and he was like, "No, thank you." And then he ended up going to a couple small mom and pops instead, and gave them the
Reviews.
reviews, and then
Yeah.
those places got all the lines, and then the big places that wanted to say Keith Lee had come there didn't get anything because he didn't get any food from them because he couldn't get in. And then some of those places started
We're
are,
butthurt.
yeah, we're butthurt and we're like, well, who's Keith Lee? Keith Lee doesn't mean anything to me. Who's Keith Lee? And then
Who's Keith Lee? The person you sent
and then
emails
and
to is
then
who Keith Lee
and then,
is.
and then people were like, oh, you need to roll that back because we there was one guy who went on a talk show and because this drama's still going on, people are still talking about it. It was like 2 3 weeks ago, people still talking about it.
Goodness.
um this guy who's like a commentator, he was a former football player or something. His nickname is Ocho Cinco, but I forget what his real name is. But he went on a
Uh huh.
talk show and they asked him about the Keith Lee thing, and he started talking about Keith Lee is hurting, people's. You shouldn't talk about. Basically, there are people. He's not the only one, but there are people who are saying like black. You shouldn't talk about black restaurants like that because you're hurting the business of black restaurants. You should be on our side basically because you're black and we're black,
But if you're treating
and
people some kind of
you should
way,
be you should be on our side. And so he um he and then so the guy was saying that on the talk show, and then right
mm-hmm.
after the talk show, his daughter came to him and said, no, you had the wrong take, you need to roll that back because you
Redo.
know we are a Keith Lee
We
house over
stand Keith
here.
Lee.
Yeah, I was going to say something else vulgar and I was trying not to say it, but
Oh,
we F with Keith Lee. This is the Keith Lee house. You need to roll that back. And he went on the thing the next day and said, okay, my daughter showed me
because
more videos. I clearly didn't know what I was talking about.
he's
Uh,
very he's very open and honest and like lays it out and isn't like because he's not based specifically based on the fact that he sends his like staff to do the ordering instead of him walking in. He's not trying to get special treatment. He's not trying to do any of this stuff. He's just trying to eat the food and tell you how he feels about the food and about the customer service. So it's their fault for treating people some kind of way. Like
exactly.
I'm all for like you and me when we watch the reality shows and like support the black person and stand and like we're with this person. But if they're gonna be acting a fool, if they're gonna be crazy, we don't support that. You
Yeah,
don't stand by that.
exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I just don't get any of the drama. I miss all the drama, but
Well,
that's
also
fine with me.
something I want to say also, some of these people, because I do follow, like you, I follow a couple people who do like drama recaps, and those people will be deep in the comments. They will be scroll like it is their full time, like scrolling deep and looking at these exchanges, and then go to this page, find this post, and then look for these exchanges, like thousands of comments deep. They will be deep, and I don't have the energy for that. I would
Yeah,
rather just have you tell me what's going
yeah,
on. I don't have the time. I don't have the time for that.
yeah. But even when it's not necessarily website dramas, I feel like I just miss all the dramas I was watching because I've started trying to try new podcasts. And
hmm
I tried a couple of new podcasts, and they were like, "Well, you know that XYZ did this to ABC, and that's we all know blah blah blah." And I'm sorry, we don't all know, because
Nope.
I'm black, but I've never been on black TikTok. I don't follow the
But for
right I
real.
don't follow the right people to know what's going on with black TikTok, or
Yeah, I'm a
black
black
or
cosplay TikTok.
or black Twitter. I don't follow the right people to know what these things are, so I don't know what the gossip is, and I
hmm
don't follow the right celebrities, especially
Yeah.
black celebrities. I don't know, like, people who are supposed to be famous R&B whatever. I don't know who any of these people are because
I
that's not
also
that's
don't
not the music that I listen to, so I don't know who these people are.
Also, as far as TikTok, like there are very few celebrities that I follow, period, because that's not what I use TikTok for. If I want to see you, you're going to be doing an interview on The View. You're going to be doing an interview on Fox. You're going to be doing an interview on like all these big places where I could see you talking about stuff. Whereas TikTok, why would I want to see your big stuff on TikTok when I could be seeing like normies, which is who I want to
Yeah,
see?
exactly. So, Mark, uh, Duolingo Russian.
Oh yeah, I can show you. I've got a 6 day streak because I finally got the friggin' widget.
You got the widget. Yay. I saw you send me a thing where asked you to get the widget. And I was like, are you showing me this because they're asking you to get the widget because you can't get the widget? Because I know for a
No,
while
they
I
finally
know for a
gave
while
it to
you
me.
couldn't get it. Okay. Because I
Yeah,
know
they
for a
finally
while
gave it to me.
it wasn't for those who don't know,
Hmm.
Duolingo has a widget that you can put on your not front page, but whatever, on your landing pages on your phone.
Yeah,
And
your homepage.
it was iOS only at first. And so I kept showing Artemis all these different crazy expressions because Duolingo every day that you don't do your stuff, Duolingo is like, please come back. And
Gets cranky.
you send you all these cranky faces because you
Yeah, so
haven't come back.
I just got the widget last night. Technically, this morning it was like 1 a.m. or something. I just got the widget late last night, and I did my lesson, and so I still have a 6 day streak. So I'm waiting until later in the day to see if Duo gives me some kind of stuff. I also just realized when I was posting in the Discord that Ronald had posted his Duo name and stuff in the Discord. So I need to go follow Ronald.
Yeah,
Also,
I don't follow anybody because Duolingo went through this thing where they were just people were just following me randomly. And I had hundreds of people, and I am not and they made me follow the people, and it's like I'm not friends with these people. I did not follow any of these people. They just automatically added people to my friends list as
ooh,
me following them and them following me. So I had thousands of people, and just every time I have a wild hair, I just go in and start delete because you can't like it's a tedious process to
to
delete
go
people
through, yeah.
because you have to go into each person's profile and then click unfollow and then wait for the app to reload to go do the next
Mm.
one. So it's kind of tedious. You can't just go click, 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 and get rid of all these people.
I am following one person, and it is you. Also, I just found out yesterday that you can make your own little avatar,
Yeah, they started a thing where it's like, do you want to keep
your picture.
your picture or start an avatar? And I said, no, I want to keep my picture because I don't know where else I have this picture, so I don't want to delete it because I
Yeah.
have it on the because I can't remember where else I have this picture, so I wanted to keep it on there. And then I went into Duolingo the other day, and my picture is gone.
Your picture is
So
still there for me.
I'm
It's
kind of
that picture
pissed.
of you on the cruise, right?
Yeah. Yeah, when I go into it, it's not there anymore.
That's
So I'm a little
weird
I'm a
because
little pissed about that.
that's the
But
only way that I know that it's you because you because there's
my
another Danny
widget
that follows me.
my widget today, I don't know what the deal is with Duo being a skeleton. I don't understand.
He's dying because you have a 0 day streak.
And yesterday, Duo was like in this black and white noir thing with the shadow across the face, and yeah, it's very
Love it.
funny. It's funny. But so you've got a 6 day streak on your Russian.
Yeah, I started with the first lesson and then I was like, this is so hard because I don't know what any of these letters mean. These letters are literally nonsense symbols to me. So I found out that Duo, for languages that have different alphabets, there's a,
Because Russian uses like the Cyrillic alphabet or something,
I don't know what it's
right?
called, but there's a whole separate like lesson thing. So there's like the normal house lessons or whatever, and then there's this thing that I can click and it's just the letters.
Oh,
And so I can do lessons on just the letters. So I know what some of the sounds are now. Like that little symbol, it makes the sound zh, zh. So I'm doing these like practice and they're just giving me like I don't think they're giving me any
Yeah,
kind of
Russian.
word things. They're just
I just looked it up on Wikipedia. Russian uses the Cyrillic alphabet, which
okay. I know what it's
um,
called.
see, your mother's not stupid. Occasionally,
No one
things
said
are
you
in
were
my brain.
stupid.
Things are in my brain occasionally.
But yeah, so I've been practicing with this and I'm doing pretty well. Like I am getting to the point where it takes me a minute, but of the letters that they've given me, I can kind of sound things out. The thing that is throwing me is some of the letters look like letters that we use that make a different sound. So there's like a backwards N, but that makes the E sound, like I, like
Oh
a short I
no!
sound or whatever. It makes the E
Oh
sound,
no!
or like the C makes the S sound always. It never makes the K sound. And then what's another one that looks, there's one that looks like a 3 and that makes the Z sound. So not J like the little X thing, but it makes the Z sound. And so some of them are a little harder because I want to read it as the English letter,
Why are you
but
torturing yourself? Just learn Spanish.
because this is fun. I'm learning. It feels like I'm learning a whole like alien language. It's
But
alien to me.
it
It's
is
foreign to my
it is
brain.
it is opening your brain up, so that's good.
Yes. Also, now if I can learn the basics, then maybe I can talk to some of these Russian people that live near the store that I work at. That was the whole reason that I started this, was so that I could like say a few words. Just say like thank you or welcome or hi or whatever. So I know privyet. Privyet is hello. That's as far as I've got right now. Because I did the first couple lessons and then was like, oh, this thing lets me learn the letters. Let me do this first. So my 6-day streak has been all letters. Has been me just trying to learn the letters. And I've gotten most of them. You can see the like basically the list of letters here. So I've
Uh-huh.
touched on a lot of them.
Uh-huh.
But there's still some that I like. They're not giving me all of it at once. So I'm still kind of working my way through.
Cool. Yeah,
Yes.
I need to get back into the languages, but maybe after the first of the year, we'll see. We'll see. So
Yes.
market recap. Where are we on the markets?
Last market was Fey Nectar, and it was slow. I think I made $150, and the fee is $25. Um, it was just slow. It was a little frustrating because it was one of the bigger markets. So it was one of the ones where they had the sword fighting and all the extra
Uh-huh.
vendors, and I just because those have been a lot better for me. And so I thought it was going to go more. I thought it was going to make at least $200, and I didn't break the 200 mark. It was just slower. I think probably because it was colder. And so people have not like, were not quite prepared for the chilly weather and everything.
Yeah.
And I was bummed about the flowers. I'm still making the flowers because I feel like they're going to go well. I feel like they're a good like holiday buy.
Hmm.
So I'm still making some flowers. But that day I sold a single flower. I sold one flower. It was one
I think
single
I
stemmed rose.
I think the thing is we just had Thanksgiving, and so I
Mm-hmm.
think now is when a lot of people, because especially this year more so than ever, I'm hearing a lot of pushback. I mean, hearing really the only place I hear anything from live people is TikTok and YouTube. But from the little bit of contact I have with the outside world, I am hearing more pushback against starting Christmas stuff before. Oh, I have podcasts too. I forgot that. Starting Christmas stuff
Mm-hmm.
before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And so I think now that Thanksgiving has come and gone and people can start putting up their decorations and stuff, I think people are going to let themselves really start thinking about, okay, what am I going to get people for Christmas? And
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I'm
yeah.
hoping
So
for.
hopefully the last couple markets of the year you will make some money because people get some last minute gifts or whatever.
Yeah, I've got a big market this Saturday. It's another Fey Nectar there. Even though they don't have the sword fights this Saturday, they've got extra vendors, and this is their Black Friday weekend, like big shopping event.
Mm,
And so I'm hoping that I make some sales there. And then Sunday, the BIPOC market, even though the BIPOC market is over, the BIPOC market is doing a partnering holiday market with New Belgium, which I've vended with the BIPOC market before, and I've vended at New Belgium before. And so they are doing a joint thing, and they're having a market
I know you
on
haven't done
Sunday.
very. I know you haven't done very well for with the BIPOC market. How I've not heard of New Belgium. Have you done well with them?
I did. I've done pretty decently at New Belgium, but those were also more during the summer where there's like kids wanting to get henna, wanting to get face paint, and yada yada. So I need to see, and I have not done the flowers or the amigurumis at New Belgium before.
Hmm.
So I need to see how well. This will be an experiment to see how well these items do at this location.
Hmm.
So I'm
Cool.
hoping well.
So that should slide us right into our yarny thoughts. So, do you have any yarny thoughts
Um, other
other
than the
than our
beret and
share?
the let's see, because there was the beret. Oh, I did make some stuff. I was like, what did I feel? I've been working this whole time. I made some bows. So I've got this is like sparkly velvet yarn, and it's got a little barrette on the back.
Uh-huh.
But this
That's a
is
big bow.
it is, but picture it on
Yeah.
like a
Well,
little
I know
girl.
your sister likes to wear the big bows like that. So yeah.
So, and I'm making some smaller ones too, but I made two really big ones.
Mhm.
And this one's got the little
Cute.
tail, and it's got like a
Cute.
barrette on the back.
Cute.
And then I made a smaller one. I'm still just kind of finagling with it because I'm kind of winging it. And so this is a smaller. Plus, these are very like these two yarns feel very Christmassy to me because this is
Uh-huh.
you can barely tell this is green and this is blue, but
Mhm.
you can kind of see now. But these yarns feel very Christmassy, so I'm hoping people will grab them
Yeah,
for like a little girl's like Christmas outfit.
yeah, with the sparkle and with the you might want to say with the clip that's there, you could put it like on the front of a dress, like in the neckline.
Oh yeah,
You could put it at the waistline, like if the dress has like a fabric belt or something, you could put the bow, attach it to the fabric belt of
true.
the dress, so it doesn't have to be in the hair.
Yeah, because I didn't even picture like on a shirt or something. Yeah, because I was just thinking here because all I have is our little hair barrettes, but they could clip in different
Yeah, the
places.
hair barrettes could clip in different places. Yeah.
So I will say that. But
So
other than those and the beret that I made, I think that's all that I have like finished because I'm working on more like roses. But I'm working on them in parts. I'm rolling one up right now so you can see. But I'm working on them in parts. So I've made a few of the rose heads. I just haven't sewed them together. And then what I've been working on while we've been talking is the little green part. Oh, I didn't roll this very well. Is the little green part that sits underneath. But I got this nice blue yarn that I feel like this would make a cute like blue rose
yeah, that's
once
nice.
I actually sew it together. And then that same rainbow, that same like muted rainbow yarn, I've got a couple rose heads for that. And then I've got some more red yarn back there. So I'm going to make a few more of those, I think. I just need to, I want to finish the ones that I've got so I have some completed things before I start more things.
Well, I forgot to bring my crochet hook in here and I couldn't
Ooh,
find a good time to slip out and go get it. So I'll just show you what I've got. The only thing I worked on this week was the bobble blanket that we talked about last week. I did not
mm-hmm.
get very far, but I don't know if I mentioned this live on the stream or when we were talking on Sunday, but this is where I am so far.
Okay.
I mean, it's wide enough that I can pull it over my lap and it hangs out. Let me show you.
Yeah.
Like so, you can put that over your lap and it's going to hang down the sides. Um
Mm-hmm.
so right now I am on the let's see, like seventh or eighth row right now.
Okay. It looks good.
As you can see, that green is not coming. This is like a deep forest green, and it's not coming
Okay.
across.
It does
It's not
not
coming
come through
across.
that way.
It's a deep forest green to match the deep forest green that is like right there.
So the greens look the same color, but neither one of them look a deep forest green.
Yeah, they're not coming across on the thing. But what I decided to do, I think I mentioned this because the whole pattern was supposed to be like these three. You see these three rows? We've got the two rainbow rows and then the third green
Mm-hmm.
row. It's supposed to be all three of these are supposed to be different colors. And
Yeah.
then this black is like the main color.
Mm-hmm.
But what I decided to do because I have so much of the rainbow, but then halfway through it, I was like, maybe I'm not going to have enough of the rainbow because these puffs use a lot of yarn. So I decided to use um,
Complementing
scraps,
colors.
some complementary colors, some scraps. So I'm doing because I do want to use up this rainbow yarn. So I'm doing like two rows of the rainbow, and then the third row will be whatever complementary color, and
Mm-hmm.
then do this is like a band of two two rows of double crochet, and then there's going to be a row of single crochet on top of this, and then it's back to the puff stitches,
Okay.
and that's how you go all the way through. So it's like it's double crochet. No, is it single crochet or double crochet? Single crochet. Single crochet. It's single crochet when you start at the bottom. It's like single crochet, but you skip a row. So it's like single crochet, chain one, and skip the stitch below it, and go and then
Mm-hmm.
single crochet into the next stitch so that you have a hole in there. And then on the next row, when you switch to the color, you put the puff stitch in the
In the
hole.
hole.
In the
Yeah.
hole.
Okay.
Okay. So, and then you'll do another after you do the puff stitch row, then you do another row of, single crochet, chain one, skip the below to make a hole.
Mm-hmm.
So there's black in between these puff stitches, but you it only like
I can see it. Yeah.
peeks through a little bit, and that coordinates with the black band in between.
Something is giving me a headache. What's giving me a headache? I think this hat
So,
is. What am I doing? I'm gonna.
but that's the only crafty thing that I've got going because I that's all I worked on because this takes a while.
We're
It's
gonna
it's
pretend that
it,
my hair isn't an absolute mess.
like it moves. Oh, I don't see it. It moves it moves quickly. I'm gonna tell you now, it moves more quickly than that hoodie
Then
would.
the hoodie,
God, that hoodie felt like it was taking forever. This
because it
this
was.
this feels like it moves more quickly than the hoodie, but it's still a good bit of work because I
Mm-hmm.
only do about an hour or so every night. So that's why it took me this long to do this much. But I still have um I did not watch this week's Burroughs End, and
Me either.
I did not watch last week's adventuring party. I watched last week's Burroughs End, but then I didn't watch the adventuring party one that went with it.
I
So,
watched, and I realize now what you were thinking during our conversation. So I watched last week's adventuring party, or not Burroughs End. I didn't watch the adventuring party, but not to spoil anything, but the bit with Erica's
mm,
character, and I'm like, this is what she was
uh-huh.
thinking when we were talking about them before. So
Yes,
I
exactly.
fully lost my mind watching that episode. And yeah, but I am also not caught up because I know Ari is in the chat, and
But
Ari may or may not be watching. And Chloe, I think, is caught up, if I'm not mistaken.
so all of
But
that is to say, not to distract us, but all of that is to say I have some time that I plan to use to
mm-hmm,
focus on
I'm working on it.
I'm working on it. So we are going to skip to games.
Skip to games.
We are skipping to games, to gaming thoughts, because oh, before we do that, my last yarny crafty thought is I think for December I am going to I'm going to work on the bobble blanket, but I think that's the only crochet project I'm going to work on, the only yarny project I'm going to work on for December, because I want to get back into my um, coloring. So I think December is going to be drawing December, and I'm
Yeah,
going to
we
work
need
on
to
my
fill in those spots on the wall.
coloring, but also I still have the sketchbook and the watercolors that I bought and never cracked open.
Hmm.
And I have the Walter Foster drawing book that I asked for Christmas that someone got me last year or the year before, and I haven't used it yet. So I want to, in the spirit of, as I said, for this year, using things that have been laying there not getting used. I'm going to try to use these things for December. Not just because, oh, I got to use it, but I really have been wanting to, cuz like
Hmm.
I've got my Quirkles book sitting here. It's sitting right here, and it's been sitting here since I put the last picture up, past pictures up, and I haven't colored at all. And I keep meaning to take it back in the bedroom and pick a picture, but I haven't. And I've got new markers that I stole from your father, and I still haven't done anything with them. So I've been itching to do that, but at the same time, I feel like no, I need to do yarny stuff to show on the stream. So, but I think
Well, it's
for
yarny slash crafty, isn't it?
yes,
It used to be.
yes, it's yarny crafty thoughts. But
Okay.
I feel like I should do. I feel the obligation to do yarny stuff simply because that is how this channel started, and the few people who do subscribe and occasionally watch. Because a few weeks ago, I got a comment from somebody who subscribed to my channel years ago and said that she had dropped in and watched one of the live streams or watched it
Hmm.
after it was video on demand. But anyway, and so I feel like I need to add some yarn content simply because the people who
Well, if it
originally
makes you feel
subscribed.
better, I will almost always have yarn stuff because I got stuff to keep up with.
This is true. This is true. Okay, I want to switch to gaming because,
Are we talking about some Black Friday game deals?
well, not necessarily deals, although first thought, I watched the video about Switch games that you can get for less than $5, and
Hmm.
Donut County is on sale. And I was thinking about getting Donut County for my iPad, but if I can get it for my
You sh-
Switch, I'll get it for the
yeah, you
Switch.
should get it. It's a fun game. I Gilbert and I played through that game, and it's like we played through it one day. It was like so fast, but
Yeah,
it's a
no,
cute little game.
I've played it. I've played it before, but I've only gotten through like the first maybe 5 levels.
Hmm.
I can't remember if it was a oh no, Isaac had it on his PS4, and I played it on his PS4 when his PS4 was downstairs. He has it in his bedroom now, so I don't play games on the PS4 anymore because it's in his
Hmm.
bedroom. But when it was downstairs, I played a little bit of it down there. And I like it, but I would like to have it, you know, where I could
Yeah.
sit in bed and play it. So that is on sale for I do not have the Switch here with me, so I do not know. Let's see. Oh, let me see what it's on sale for. Let's see.
I feel like there was something else that I was going to talk about. Oh, while we're talking about yarny crafty things, or I guess we could talk about this on what we've been watching and listening to. Never mind.
Okay, Donut County. Wait a minute. I have. No, back up. Dunnet County on Switch. On Steam, Dunnet County on Switch. Let's see. Let's see. Yes, it's on sale until December 4th. Show me the price. $3.79.
Ooh, that's real cheap.
Yeah, it's on sale till December 4th. So I need to go ahead and get myself to do that. I've got that on my wish list. I forgot what else I put on my wish list because I did not bring the Switch in here. Um, so I can't remember what else I have on my wish list. I have been playing, even though I said, I do not like, um,
Pixel games.
no, well, that too, but match three games.
Yeah.
I've just kind of lost my I used to play them a lot, but I've gotten tired of them. It's like I want another mechanic for in um what's the word? What's the word?
What's the word?
In mobile games right now, it seems to be the thing to, I mean, not just right now, it's been this way for a minute, but it seems to be the thing to you play your match three, you earn some stars or coins or whatever you earn, and then you use those coins or whatever to decorate your house or do the next piece of the goal or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is. And I'm like, I'm so tired. Can you give me some other puzzle other than the match three for the in
Yeah.
between parts? Give me a jigsaw puzzle or give me a and I did have that game with the jigsaw. We remember we talked about it with Ronald
Mm-hmm.
weeks ago. I had that game with the jigsaw. So but something like that where there's something different. But I downloaded this game because even though it has match three, the match threes are not terribly hard. Even the ones that are supposedly hard, they're not terribly hard. And in between, it's like they'll make you do one or two match threes, and then they'll bring in a hidden object game like
Mm-hmm.
this one. None of the puzzles are hard. Let me put it
But
that
it's
way.
like a variety of different stuff.
Yes, all none of the puzzles are hard. Some of them could barely be called puzzles. Okay. But like the hidden object ones, they never change the scene. So when they bring this scene back, that hat is going to be in the same place. That briefcase is going to be in the same place it was last time. The
Mm-hmm.
envelope's going to be in the same place. They may throw in one or two new things, like okay, this time we want you to get that box of donuts, which they didn't ask for before, but it's still in the same place it was last time. So it's not hard.
Yeah.
But there is a mystery that is mildly interesting in
Mm-hmm.
here. And it's just I don't know, it's kind of like it's not hard, it's not challenging, but it's kind of like when you watch something like Murder She Wrote. You know that you kind of know who killed the person before you get to the end of the hour.
But you still want to see how it plays out.
But you sit and you watch it anyway because it's just easy to watch. Your brain doesn't have to
Mm-hmm.
think too hard. It's mildly interesting. The actors and actresses are either people you grew up watching on something or, oh yeah, I haven't seen them in a while. Ooh, they got old or, you know, just
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it's just comforting. It's just easy to watch. Kind of like when people watch Hallmark romances, you know where it's going to go. You
Yeah.
know, it's a formula. You know the formula, but you know that doesn't stop you from wanting it. Just kind of like when you drink a Coca Cola, the Coca Cola you bought yesterday and the one you bought today, they're the same Coca Cola. It's the same recipe, but you still like Coca Cola. So you know,
Mm-hmm.
and so this game has just enough that I find myself going back to it. Because like for instance, I can speed run, and me saying speed run on anything is ridiculous. But I can speed run those match 3 games while I'm watching television with your father. So like I will just do
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of those the match 3s, because sometimes they'll have you do like 5 in a row or whatever. So I'll just do a bunch of those match 3s. And then when they bring me up to a different puzzle, I'll close the game and go do something else. And then like in the morning when I'm having my quiet time, then I'll use up all my stars to get further in the mystery and
Yeah.
do the different puzzles. And then that night when your father comes home, I can get back to just doing match 3s and speed through those to get more points
Mm-hmm.
so that I can do the story part of
Do
the
your
game.
stuff in the morning. Yeah.
I did the story part of the game again. So if you like having that kind of game in your back pocket or on your tablet or whatever, just for something to do, while you're talking to people or whatever, that Mystery Matters is a good game for that. The reason I skipped to gaming as well is because while we were on after we ate dinner, we played a game. Your sister and brother and I, we played a escape board game that I
Ooh.
downloaded. It was printable from Escape Team.
Okay.
And because I wanted to order some games, but I waited too late to order them, so they did not get here in time. So I was like, well, I had heard that there's some that you can print out and play at home because during the pandemic, a lot of these companies who have physical escape rooms, it's like, okay, well, nobody's coming to a physical escape room,
Mm-hmm.
so let's do something else. And everybody seemed, you remember those first few months, everybody seemed to be jumping in with like, okay, what can I do to, help entertain people? Because this was when we thought everybody was just going to be stuck home for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, everybody's jumping in to offer free stuff or cheap stuff for people to do to keep themselves busy, during those 6 weeks to encourage people to stay home and not spread the virus. And so these escape room games was one of those things but they're still out there and they're still free.
Okay.
So even though it's over, and it's like you could get the training mission and the first mission for free. At, at least the website I'm talking about, and then you can pay to get further
For
missions.
extra stuff.
You can pay to get further missions.
Well, did you
Okay.
guys enjoy the one that you did?
So yeah, we did. It was supposed to take 10 minutes to do the training and the first mission. It took us about 45 minutes to get those two done. We are not puzzle people.
So, like a game of Ticket to Ride?
We are not puzzle people. But as you can see, it's like training plus mission 1 is free, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
2 to 4 people. I think it was like 12 pages, 12 pieces of paper if you want to print it out. And basically, all you need is a pencil and paper to like scratch notes on, and a pair
Mm-hmm.
of scissors because you're going to have to cut some of those pieces of paper up to solve some of the puzzle. And because there's cutting and folding involved. And um, you need your phone because there's an app that you download to the phone that tells you um, that like times you,
Mm-hmm.
like if it was a real escape room that times you so you can see how long it took you, and plus you have to put like you solved it and it's like a 5-digit code, and then you have to punch the code in and it tells you whether you got it right or not.
Does the app have to be connected to Wi-Fi?
I don't think so.
Okay, because this sounds like the kind of thing that I could like download the app, print these things off ahead of time and just have folders of these. And then, like, if I know that I'm going somewhere where I'm going to be stuck with somebody, we could just like work on it.
Yeah, I don't think you need Wi-Fi for the app. I would have to double check because my phone is being finicky right now. So your brother put the app on his phone, but the
Mm-hmm.
app is free, so you can go and get the app for free.
Okay.
And the app does have hints as well, and it has hints.
Okay.
And it has hints where it's like it doesn't just like you can go to the website and straight up get the answer, but
Mm-hmm.
you can also go on the app and press the hint button and it'll give you like a little bit of a hint and then press the hint button again and it's a little further of a hint. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
time every time you press the hint button, it's taking away some of your time to solve
Ooh.
the thing. So that's another reason why we ended up in a deficit of time because we had no idea what they were trying to do with one of those puzzles and we had to just keep hitting hint. So we ended up like 16 minutes like we had the 10 minutes they gave us plus 16 minutes past that
Ooh.
to do one of the things. But yeah, all of these I picked this one also I picked this one in particular because all of these are like defuse a bomb or get out of a room or stop the crazy roller coaster, or there's a cruise ship one, but it looks like it's 4 out of 5 difficulty.
Ooh.
Okay, the
If
one
y'all
we
spent
did,
40 minutes on the easy one.
really, we did the first one, and the first one is like one. If this lightning bolt means difficulty, then the one we did was 1 out of 5 difficulty, and we had trouble figuring it out. Okay, I would love to
Mm.
do the cruise ship one because we do stuff with cruise ships, but and I don't know how much they cost. Each one costs. Let me see. I'm clicking now to see. Okay, wait a minute. This thing is sending me straight to. Aren't you supposed to charge me or something? It just sent me straight to the thing.
It's already there.
This one says very hard.
Ooh.
Very hard. So we could have downloaded some of these yesterday. Okay.
Good to know. Ooh, we could maybe bring those on the cruise. Because if the app doesn't need Wi Fi.
It is very hard though. We could try. Um, but so that's a thing that we did.
Mm-hmm.
And then we played um Shift Happens and your father played.
What's
You know your
that?
your father does not play video games.
He does not. That's why I'm trying to figure out what this is.
But he sat there and he played like 2 levels of um cuz your sister had the demo on her um
Switch.
Switch. Thank you. And it's like a I'm trying to pull it up. Oh, this game's on Steam too. Oh, it's on sale on Steam for $1.59.
What is the game?
That is crazy.
Chloe, I need you to jump in the chat real quick and tell me what this game is because it's going to be forever. Chloe, what
It's
is this
not gonna be
game?
forever. It's 2 players. I guess it's 2 players. Yeah, it's just 2. And you have to move things around. I think it's called Shift because it says in the description, Shift Happens is a cooperative platformer for 2. You and a friend shift your mass, throw each other and puzzle your way through 4 stages of stylized imaginary worlds.
Okay.
So it's it's normally 15.99, but it's on sale on Steam until the November 28th for $1.59.
Goodness.
But it is also on. I'm trying to see if I can see it on Switch. See if Switch has it on sale as well.
And
Switch
then
has it
after
on sale.
this, Special guest in 5 minutes. Ari, I thought you weren't coming until tomorrow.
Switch has December 4th has it on sale until December 4th, but it's taking forever to bring the price up. Let's see. Let's share the screen and see if it's up. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, it's $1.99 on
Ooh.
Switch too. So Chloe, if you hear that, it's $1.99 until December 4th if you want to get that game. Because we all played it. I was bad at it. But it's basically
Can you do online? Because if Chloe and I both get it, could we play online?
I don't know.
The,
What do I know about these things? I barely know how to
Mother,
use
you are
my
on the
Switch.
website researching. What is going on, Mother?
I barely know how to use my Switch. But it's so it's like you can get big or you can get little,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to step on like I have to you have to step on a button so that the other person can get through the door, and then they have to push a thing so that you can get through the door. And so
Yeah,
there's levels, there's
it's a puzzle
boxes,
platformer.
or it's a platformer, which I don't play platformers, but your children did not listen to me and they made me play it. But
I don't have any
your
children.
oh, your siblings, I mean. Um and your father played 2 levels of it before he went upstairs, which but he said it made his eyes water and he almost got a little bit sick. But because I keep this is I have to say this is my non this is
None.
my traditional bias, I guess. For some reason, have to keep reminding myself that your father did not grow up playing video games.
Oh.
For some reason in my head, boys play video games. All boys like playing the shoot 'em ups, the Rocket Leagues, the Fortnites, the Apex Legends, all of that kind of stuff. And somehow in my head, your father and his friends played these games when they were kids, but they did not, because your grandmother, your grandmother was a single mother. She didn't have money to
Yeah.
buy things like game consoles, and for some reason, your father did not go and play at his friends' houses. Maybe his friends didn't have game consoles either. I don't know, but because we didn't, because to be honest, in my house, I'm only a few years older than your father, and in my house, we didn't really get a game console. I mean, we had an Atari where you play Pong
Mm-hmm.
back and forth, but that doesn't count. We didn't have a Nintendo. We didn't have a Nintendo until I moved out of the house. Until I was like
Mm-hmm.
18 or 19 years old and had moved out. So I technically didn't grow up with computers or Nintendo either. But for some reason, I still in my head feel like
Think that he did.
that not necessarily grew up with him, but he's only a few years older than me. Check your door.
Check my door. Oh my goodness. Give me a minute. I just checked out the window to see if they were here and I didn't see them.
So I guess I'm just vamping until they get back. So
Turn that off because she's gonna hear
wha-
it on the speaker.
so
Oh
I
man,
don't
why
know
are you
how
so
this is going to
mean?
work because I don't know if they have a good microphone, but we'll see how this
I've
is.
got a good microphone. They can't see you. Hang on. And close my door.
Wow, I come here 4 hours away and I'm just getting attitude after attitude.
Is that
Guess who I
alcohol? Is
have?
that alcohol
To the
he's got?
viewers.
No, that's the alcohol. That's the Oculus. We're gonna have to play some Oculus.
Whenever you guys
Oh,
are done,
so
obviously.
you do have a heart out because you've got people there to play games with you.
I didn't know I had a heart out. I thought they were coming tomorrow. I didn't know. I thought they were coming tomorrow. To be fair, I've been all kinds of mixed up because last week I thought they were coming last weekend. So I've been all kinds of mixed up. but you can get us off the big screen now, and we got to figure something out so you can hear. I guess I'll disconnect my headphones, and we'll see how this goes.
Y'all can finish your show.
Well, I guess we can do about 15 more minutes and then be done.
Ooh, just a sec. Hang on.
Sorry, viewers.
Oh my
You
goodness.
are
You
our
are.
viewers.
Oh, she heard me. She heard me.
Yeah, I told you I had a good microphone.
Your viewer is now on TV with you, so
Can you hear okay with the? Because I've got the
Yeah.
speaker. Is there a bad
Yeah.
echo or anything?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay,
I'm fine. I
Chloe.
don't know if
I
you
know
can
you're
hear.
listening on the train. Tell me if there's an echo.
you like my jacket?
So,
Oh, I
so
got this today.
the other reason I switched to gaming, and then we can
Mm-hmm.
finish this up so that you can go do some real gaming,
Mm-hmm.
is I thought we would do another opening since that went so well last time. Not,
Oh, did you get
but
another thing?
not from Timu. No,
Oh, okay.
I bought the games that I bought. They got here today, right after Chloe left.
Okay. It's in the
So,
right quick.
so what I bought, first of all, I bought the Game of Life Gold.
The Game of Life goals. What is that?
Let me see. I need to fix something. Let me see.
What do you need to fix? What are you doing?
I thought the game of life was
It's
enough.
not there.
Right? Life extra?
Right. Now they want you to set life goals.
Score the most points by achieving life goals and staying true to your lifestyle card.
Like I said.
You can't
Okay.
control the cards you're dealt, but you can choose what to do with them. So basically, it's like you pick a lifestyle card and then you have to get the cards that fit your lifestyle to get your points.
Okay.
It, it's in the same family of Game of Life. It's kind of like Monopoly has Monopoly Deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. It's kind of like
Okay.
taking the Game of Life and kind of shrinking it down a little bit to cards. Um, but it was $5, so I bought it.
Yeah, that's definitely something we'll play at least once on the cruise.
Yes, it was $5, so I bought it. And then I bought. Also, this happened.
What is
This,
that?
this is my sign that I need to buy more hair stretchies.
Is that a hair
So
stretchy that snapped?
this is a hair stretchy that snapped while I was trying to get ready for this thing. Yes, it was $5, Ari.
Ooh.
And Chloe said no echo.
Okay, thank you, Chloe.
Yes, I bought something, Ari.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of my things is
Here,
not
I'm still the
here.
viewer.
So one of my packages has not come yet. Why'd they
Ooh.
send it? I put it on on Amazon delivery day so they could send it all at once instead of doing three different packages. So that's
Yeah.
okay. This is Unlock Short Adventures. I thought I turned my camera around so that these letters would not show backwards, but I guess I
No,
didn't.
they're forward for me.
Oh, they're backward for me. So
Yeah, they're
okay.
forward for me.
Okay. So Unlock Short Adventures. This is another one in the category of that game that I was just telling you about. The the
Hmm.
escape team game we just did.
Yeah.
This is another version of that kind of thing that you can buy at the store.
Okay.
And this one was, I think it was $9 for this one. This is
How
this
much
also
replayability does it have?
this also has an app. And no, this has no replayability,
Okay.
but it has no replayability. You don't need the internet once you download the app, so you could definitely play this on the cruise. But it's none of these games have replayability. The games I'm talking about, but well, the
Mhm.
life game does.
Yeah.
But it's the kind with this brand. This has a whole series of games This is the mini
Oh,
version, and then they have bigger games. Unlock adventures, unlock heroic adventures, unlock mystery adventures, whatever.
mhm,
These supposedly take roughly 30 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes, and then the big ones take like an hour to an hour and a half. And the big ones are like $15, and this one is like $10.
mhm,
And um the thing about them is that with this, there's another line called exit the game, and that one is similar to the escape team one that I showed you, where you have to fold stuff, you have to cut it up and stuff like that.
mhm.
So when that's done, it's done, and if you want somebody else to play, you need to print out more paper.
Yeah,
Okay. And so same thing with exit the game. It's like $15, but you got to cut up things and bend things and stuff like that. So once you play that,
Ari said
then
he got one of those for his birthday. It's $20.
oh, what, exit the game?
Me and Tyler bought one beforehand, and it was level 3. And let me tell you, 3 hours and still haven't finished it. And then,
Well,
and then my mom gave me another one, but it's a 2-star one. So we're gonna try it and see if maybe two
mm,
circles is better than 3, because that
yeah,
difficulty is ridiculous.
yeah. Well, I think it's I because the people who keep saying that, like, oh, it's only 30 minutes, because I've watched reviews of all of these, and the people who say, oh, it's only 30 minutes or whatever, these are people who are really experienced in playing these kind of games and escape
Mhm,
rooms and stuff like that. So they kind of have that mindset on how to play those. Just kind of like when we were playing the group crossword puzzle, and you kind of know that the question mark at the end means that it's the answer is going to be like a pun or a cheeky question. I know
mhm.
that because I do a lot of crosswords, but you guys didn't know that because you don't do a lot of crosswords.
Yep.
That's kind of how it is with these games. The mechanics of these puzzles is easy to some people because they do these a lot.
You'll have to talk with Ari and Tyler for a second. I hear the dogs barking in the other room, so I got to stop them from barking so they don't bother our downstairs neighbor.
So I got to vamp for the rest of our audience here while you go get the dogs.
Damn, you
But
got people to talk to.
For real, like
but
I'm right here. We can talk together. It's okay. Like,
this is true.
gosh.
You can discuss
But
your games with us.
this unlock adventure is level 1. So that's why I got it, because it's supposed to be level 1, because I didn't know, I've not played any of these, so I didn't know how hard the puzzles were, other than I printed out a Christmas one last year, and my son and I never finished it because the puzzles were hard. So, but this one does not, you don't cut anything up or anything. So once you solve all the puzzles, like, I could play this with Isaac and then finish it and then give it to you guys and then you could play it, because it
Okay, so
doesn't, I don't write on it or anything.
so it's just like it's a one-shot game for groups, and then you could kind of like gift it because you already know
E-
all the answers.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a one shot because we know all, because you already know the answers, not because you tore it up.
Yeah,
Whereas
because
whereas exit the game is a one shot because you know the answers and you tore it up.
oh yeah, we know. Like I said, we spent we spent 3 hours on the game. The exit game we called was called the Gate, and it had like 7
Uh-huh.
different worlds that we had to go to. We only made it to World 4 after like 3 hours.
Oh no.
Yeah, it
Oh
was
no.
hard. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, we used a lot of the hints because we weren't gonna figure any of that out anytime
Yes.
soon. They were like
Right.
out of the box answers. It was just,
Yeah.
and then all of them have that little dial, that little decoder.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't tell you how to use it. They expect you just to know. Because when we got it, they were like, oh, here are the rules. Just go ahead and start, but start with the decoder, and that's all you need. They don't tell you anything else. They're just like, here's the decoder. Good luck. Don't even tell
Well,
you how to get
see,
through it.
You got
and
it.
and on the thing with that, that's not fair, because I think what it is that they assume, because like when I was a kid, there were board games and stuff that came with those kind of decoders, and I
Right.
think I think maybe the people who are making these games assume that everybody knows what those are because they used to be common in board games. But if you're somebody in your age group, you didn't grow up with those games, so you're not familiar with those things.
I played
So
Monopoly, The Game of Life, Candyland. Those are my board games. I don't play no Dakota games. It's crazy. All right, here's your Artemis.
and the last one I've got, there's one more that's coming, and it's branded on. Well, let me show you one I have, and then I'll show you the other one that I'm waiting for.
Mhm.
Excuse me. This one is called Echoes, and
Okay.
this one is it's called an audio mystery game.
Okay.
Talk for a second because I've got to get a sip.
Okay. Well, while you're getting a sip, what are you messing with back there? That's your sip. Okay. All I hear is boxes in the background. I'm like, this is my room with all of my stuff. I'm trying to figure out what is going on behind me.
But I'm special. It's okay.
It feels suspicious.
Right, I came 4 hours to drive to come see you. Why am I gonna mess with your stuff?
Don't be
That's what I'm trying to
suspicious.
figure out.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Suspicious.
Don't be suspicious.
Okay, now what is this auditory mystery? What?
Now, this is one that I heard we could do over video chat.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go sit
As long as all of you download the app
Mm-hmm.
where you are, then you can hear the audio clues the same as I do. And I can hold up like the cards to the camera.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. So you scan the cards to activate the sound clues.
Mm-hmm.
Under the dim lights of a smoky New York speakeasy, the
Ooh.
underworld meets to concoct their sinister plans. Listen to the conversations at the bar and see if you can solve the mystery of the infamous mob boss, Cruel Steve.
Ooh, I
So
love this.
So you listen to the sounds and the dialogue connected to the game components. Find all audio clues and bring them into the correct order. So basically, from what I understand, is that there's different chapters and then there's different items in each chapter. You have to figure out which items go with each chapter. And then you have to figure out how to put the chapters in the right order. And the audio clues are supposed to help you with all of this. And then it'll tell, once you get it all in the right order, then it'll tell you the whole story.
Okay. I like this idea. That sounds fun.
So yeah, it sounds fun. So see, compatible with Google Play services for AR. I was trying to see if you needed internet for this one, but
Well, if we're all
ages 14 and up, this is supposed to take about an hour. This is another one that doesn't get torn up. So like after I do it, then I could pass it on to somebody else. And I can't remember how much I paid for this one. But I thought I also got one more. I'm gonna pull it up. Let's see.
And this is the one that didn't come in the mail yet.
It hasn't come yet, but it's scheduled to come today, so it's probably going to be on my porch later tonight. But I thought I'd just show it to you now instead of waiting until next week. But this one is branded, and this is the one that started me on the kick of this is what I want to get, because I saw it on sale. Kind of like when I bought your Ticket to Ride, and all the other Ticket to Rides are like $30 and $40, and your Ticket to Ride was like $12. I'm like, why is this one on sale for $12? I don't care. I'll go ahead and get it anyway. But the Echoes game was, let me see, how much was it? Oh, it was on sale, so it was $7.99.
Okay.
So I got that. It's normally $9.99, so it's not terribly expensive.
It's still not that bad, yeah.
But again, yeah, some people are like, well, I don't want to spend money on something like this that you only get to do once, but it's like you can regift it, and even the ones that you can't regift, like the exit ones that you tear up, $15. Some
Isn't
people pointed
not
out
that
that
bad for
like a
experience.
not that bad for an experience, and a if you go to an actual um escape room
They're like
with
$30.
these types of puzzles, yeah, they're somebody was saying $40 per person.
Yeah,
So
Gilbert, because Gilbert and I are looking to try to go to one because they've got some here in Asheville, and we've been trying to get our schedules together and our wallets together so that we can go to one. But all the ones in our area look like they're $30 a person.
yeah, so you can get the experience of doing the puzzles without having to without paying that much. So,
Mm-hmm.
but this one is clue themed, and
Okay,
most of them are about 15 $20 a piece. This one for some reason is on sale for $6. I do not know
okay.
why.
Ooh,
But
I
so I
mean,
went
Black
ahead and
Friday?
what'd you say?
I said Black Friday, maybe.
No, because it doesn't even have the Black Friday deals thing on it. And this price has been there since before Black Friday. Because
Ooh,
I've had it on my list for 2 weeks. I don't know why this one's on sale for so cheap. But it's a 2 out of 5 difficulty, so hopefully it's not too hard. Um and again, it's another one shot cooperative game. Try to get out of the mansion. I think
hmm,
this one also has an app. I'm not 100% sure, but it has the pieces that are similar to Clue,
cute.
but it also has puzzles. So I just thought it would be fun to try.
Yeah,
Something fun to try. So that's what gaming is the mood I'm in, beside the fact that I re-added um wildflowers to my device because I've heard that there is a
an update.
that they're working on an update, but they haven't announced a date.
Hmm.
So I was like, well, let me get caught up because I never really worked my way all the way through the last update because I
Hmm.
wasn't terribly interested in, the fantasy animals or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I never really worked my way through the other update to see if there's any other events that went with it or anything. But I thought, well, yeah, maybe I should go ahead and
Well, if you're in an escape room mood, if I don't know how much it is on, I think it's available on Switch. I'm not sure if it's available on PlayStation, and I believe it's available on Steam. But if you're in an escape room mood, Escape Academy is a very fun game. Gilbert and I played through
I've
it.
had that on my list, but I've never played it. But I've had it on my wish list for a
It was
while.
on Game Pass, and Gilbert and I played through it in like either one day or 2 days. Like we played through it pretty quickly, just because we like
Hmm.
played through. So if that would be a fun one to play with Isaac, because at least on
Hmm.
Xbox we were able to do it couch co-op split screen.
Uh huh.
But it was super fun, and we blazed through it pretty quickly. There were only a couple times I think where we either didn't beat it in the time or we like needed some sort of a hint. But we got through most of the game. Like it wasn't super super hard,
Mm.
but it was still like challenging enough to feel fun.
Cool, cool. Because that's why I like a little bit of a challenge, a little bit of putting things together. But like the escape team one that we did yesterday, that one was hard. If
Hmm.
we didn't have Isaac, now Chloe did one puzzle all by herself over to the side because they tell you to like lay all the pieces out so that like one person in the group can be working on phase 3 while somebody else is working on phase 2 and somebody else working on
Hmm.
phase 1. But like I ended up sitting there just watching for most of it because I had no clue.
Yeah,
I had
the
no clue.
Escape Academy, it feels like it's very good at slowly ramping it up. Like there were only a couple times where we were like, this feels so much harder than the other. We were like, there's one puzzle that I remember in particular where I was like, I do not know how to solve this, and we just had so much trouble with it. But other than that, like it feels pretty easy how they like ramp it up for you to figure out things and like pick things up and go places and stuff. So it's and the maps don't feel too like big, so that you're like running all over creation trying to remember where something is. Like it felt like it was leveled very nicely.
Cool. I'll have to keep it in mind and watch for a sale.
Mm-hmm.
So I want us to hit a lick at two different things on this list and hurry up and get off because I know you got people waiting for you.
Okay.
Um, one of them's yours and one of them's mine, I think.
Okay.
Finding a stopping place in management games is hard.
That is specifically because I have been playing, whenever I'm actually playing things and not in the middle of crocheting things, I have been playing Cult of the Lamb. And the reason that I hesitate to pick up Cult of the Lamb is because I have such a hard time putting down Cult of the Lamb. Because in other like action games where you're fighting or something, you can like finish a thing and then it feels like, okay, I've reached a stopping point. But in management games, especially Cult of the Lamb, you like go fight in a dungeon so that you can get resources for your people. And then you go take care of your people, and then all of a sudden you need more resources. So you go fight in the dungeon to get more resources for your people, and then you come back to your people, and then all of a sudden, and so it feels like there's no really good stopping point because there's always something that needs to be done. Mm-hmm. And so I always spend so much more time in that game than I need to, because I'm like, okay, well, I'll just go do this thing and then I'll be done. And then I come back and I'm like, oh, well, I don't want to forget that I need to do this thing next time I turn the game on. So let me do this thing and then I'll be done. And I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to forget this. And so I keep going back and forth and doing all of these things. Mm-hmm. And it's so hard for me to just like, I will just have to stop right here, even though I'm not comfortable about it. I need to stop right here because I got to go to bed this morning.
That's how I feel about Farmside.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's one of those games where there's always something that I could be doing to like, I need to make more flour so that I can, make more spaghetti. And then once I feed the person the spaghetti, then there's something else I need to make. I need to make more cow feed so that I can feed the cows and make milk, so that I can have milk when it's time to make cheese. Because somebody's gonna ask for cheese soon. I don't know when, but they're gonna ask for cheese. And it takes 3 bottles of milk to make cheese. So I need to go ahead and make the cheese. So yeah, it takes a lot to
find a place to stop.
And it's I think that's where games like Cozy Grove got the idea of we only have
energy or whatever.
Well, no, not energy, but we only have a certain amount of things that you can do during a day, and then they cut you off because so many people feel like when you play something like Animal Crossing or something, there's always something that needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And so you keep going and keep going and keep going, or that you feel like you have to come in and there's all these dailies that you need to do that keep ramping up, and it's like, with this game, we only give you a limited amount of things so that you will purposely only pay for a small amount of time, and then you leave till tomorrow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get what you're saying about that. Because I totally experienced that with a lot of the games that I play, where I can just keep going and going and going because there's always something else that needs to be done.
Yeah. Okay, I'll talk about one more thing and then that's the end of my gaming stuff, basically.
Okay.
I mentioned it. I think I mentioned it on Sunday. I don't think I mentioned it while we were live streaming, but I downloaded Gubbins, which is the word game that Hank Green bought part of the stock of, because they started the game and then they're like, and he's like, oh, I see that you guys started this game. Can I have early access and play it? It looks interesting. And they're like, of course, you're Hank Green. And so they let him play it. And then they're like, and he's like, actually, could I give you guys some money to help you guys boost and get this game published, and then just part of your proceeds whenever people pay for the game will go towards this charity. And they're like, sure, duh. And so now anytime people buy, so it's a game, I'm bringing it up right now because I've been playing it. I haven't paid for it yet because I do not have money to pay for any games right now, even though it's only $5. But you get, oh, you're bringing it up. Okay. But it's super cute. I really love the art style. And it's just a word game. It's sort of like Scrabble, but like different because you get like either one letter or like two connected letters, and you're like laying them in place or whatever to make words. But I don't know. It's hard for me to explain. If you get the game, oh, there you go. It's showing sort of. But you have like your words, but then there's also like the gubbins, who are these little creatures, and you can get good ones that'll like, there will be like the pencil is a wild card, or you can get one that'll like pull all of the letters back down. Because once you place a letter, you only have so many undos. And so once you place a letter, if you're out of undos, those letters are just staying where you left them on the board. So you got to figure out how to work with it, which I have had a couple misclicks that I'm very mad about. So I'm very careful when I place my letters now. But so there's good ones, and then there's bad ones that like will randomly put up letters in any spot on the board, and so you got to figure out how to work with that. But I've been enjoying it. It's just a chill little word game. If you don't pay for it, you only get one a day, so you can only do like the daily one. But you pay, I think it's like $5, and you can have unlimited. So it's like not bad at all. And the part of the money goes towards the charity. So I'm going to buy it eventually. I just have not gotten around to it yet because I don't have any game money at the moment. But I have been enjoying it. It's a nice, chill little, I think you should download it, Mommy, because it's a nice, chill little, like, just putting the letters places. I think the only thing that I stress about is the letters are, so you see down at the bottom, there's kind of the tiles there. You can only see the letters at the top. So you, at no point do you ever see your entire letter, like, bundle that you've got. You can only see the letters on top, and then to see the letters underneath, you have to use the letters on top, and it flips over the letters underneath. Okay. And so I am very stressed about putting a letter in a place and then getting letters for a word and then not having space to make that word. And then I've got to but it's not bad stress. It's just like casual game stress.
Yeah, I get you, because there's a game that I've been playing called let me see if I still have it on my thing. Moxie. There's a game I've been playing called Moxie, and it's like you have to. It starts out with a word, and you have to change the word. That you have to put up a letter to change the word. But if you put up a letter that doesn't change it into a new word, then you lock some other letters. Ooh. So sometimes I put down a letter to hoping that I'm going to get other letters that are going to come up. And those other letters don't always come up. So it's the same kind of feeling of, okay, this letter that, I have the letters, I have, SOF, and I'm hoping for a T, and the T doesn't come up. And you keep waiting and waiting, and now all these other letters have come up, and I don't know what to do with these letters now, because
that's not what I was planning for.
That's not what I was planning for, and I have this blocked out, and so it's just making a mess for me. I do not like this.
Oh yeah, I think maybe you talked about this game before. It looks kind of familiar.
But yeah, so it's like that one where there's an R and then the A and the D. You're just waiting for that O, just waiting for it, and it never shows up. But like once you make road, like if you got an O, once you make road, then you need to find another letter that's going to turn road into something
else. Yeah.
Like if you get another R, good, you can turn that into roar. But then once you've turned it into roar, what are you going to turn it into?
I feel like this game would stress me out more than Gubbins does. I feel like this game would be real stressful for me.
And I mean, some levers are easy because there's like, 4 different words that you can work on, that you can put your letters on. But Yeah, I understand the stress of, oh no, I could have used that letter for something else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and my last thought was more in the reading and watching category, which is my no my um nonfiction November was a bust.
No, what happened?
I mean, even though in the past I have been a person who liked to read nonfiction, I downloaded some nonfiction books and I started to read them. And I think I am a victim of what people have been saying over and over of how Americans' attention spans are getting shorter and shorter because I'm reading these books and they're going on and droning, and we're in the forward. We're not even in the main part of the book,
Oh
and
my goodness.
you're giving me 15 pages about why you wrote the book. I don't want to know. Get into the book. I just downloaded a book about menopause because I was like, okay, let me read this book. You know,
The
this is written by a
change.
doctor. She's going to give me some good information and stuff like that. But she's writing, I should have known because the name of the book is The Menopause Manifesto. And she starts off with the whole manifesto part about how women are ignored and how we need to speak up. And I don't need to hear all that. I need to hear what to do about these hot flashes, please.
Yeah, I would have been pressing the fast
Get
forward button.
get to the book. Get to the rest of the book. And the same thing with this other book. I started reading this book called The 70s, which is like a history of the 70s and different events that happened in the 70s. And I wanted to,
Hmm.
but I'm trying to be diligent and like read from the beginning, but I'm in the foreword and he's trying to give me all of this stuff about different reasons why the 70s were important. You can give me that while you're in the book telling me about other stuff.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think I've ever read the forward of the book. Maybe skip that.
So I ended up
Yeah,
just I,
preface like what?
I ended up flipping through some of the crochet. I know not even the crochet magazines. I started flipping through the knitting magazines first because I thought, okay, let me
Uh-huh.
flip through some knitting magazines. The knitting magazines, it's like I think I've lost my taste for knitting now because the knitting patterns look bland compared to the crochet patterns, at least in the magazine that I got. And then what was I looking at? I was looking at a fashion magazine,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to like fashion magazines. I was looking at, I can't remember, it wasn't Marie Claire. I think it was something like Vanity Fair or something. No, it wasn't Vanity Fair because Vanity Fair has articles as well as fashion. It was something, but it was like all of these clothes were like ridiculous and these girls were all too skinny and the clothes were all too expensive. And it's like, I'm not enjoying this magazine either. And then
Mm-hmm.
I picked up a magazine that I used to enjoy back when you were little. It was called First for Women. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought, and I read this whole magazine from cover to cover, or I flipped through it, and it was like, this magazine has not updated itself since 1992.
Ooh.
It's like it's still, it's like so many little snippets of different things. It's not no long form articles. It's just all little snippets of like, you know, if you want to keep your vegetables crisp in your vegetable drawer, do this. If you want to make your baby powder not clump up, do this. If you want, it's just all these little
5 minute
snippets.
crafts, the magazine.
That's what it felt like. And it was all just like, all of it felt like, I don't think these things are real. I I mean, I don't think this advice that you're giving, like when I was literally 30 years ago, I would have read this stuff and went, oh, that's an interesting little tidbit, or oh, I might try doing that, or oh, now I'm looking at all of these and going,
I
I
don't
don't
think that works.
I don't think that works. I don't think this is real. I think all of this is just like clickbait, except this is a magazine and not
So it is
a
really five
website.
minute crafts, the magazine.
It's just, it was like, I don't think any of this works. And just the layout of the pages was also very busy
Mm-hmm.
and like they would have fashion stuff that's like, um, you know, if you are an older woman, you should wear this color and that color, or you should get this kind of haircut and that kind of haircut. And they had pictures of different celebrities to illustrate what they're talking about. And the whole time I'm looking at it and I get the feeling of, I think that's a public domain picture. I don't think Glenn Close wants to be in your magazine.
Ooh,
I don't think Viola Davis wants to be your illustration for how to cut your hair.
that's hilarious.
Which that stuff never occurred to me when I was reading these kind of magazines 30 years ago. But now
Yeah.
I'm looking at it, it's like, no, this just smacks of you pulled whatever free picture you could get. They did not pose specifically for your magazine.
Hmm.
This is just whatever free picture you picked up off the internet
That's hilarious.
and paid the fee to use or got permission for. They did not pose to be in your magazine. So it's so none of the nonfiction that I read was anything that appealed to me. And my Socktober did not work out well because I only did one pair of slippers and one sad sock.
So
So
what we are learning is you need to not plan out your month.
so hopefully drawing December will be better. And then I need to figure out something for January. I don't know what. But
Yeah, I don't know what you're gonna do for that.
hopefully drawing December will be better.
Hmm.
So anyway, we have been on here shorter than some days, but still a long time. We thank you to anyone who has watched this today or anyone who is going to watch this later when it's on demand. If you've made it this far,
Like, comment, subscribe, share, leave a. I'm trying to think of an emoji. We did turkey emoji last time for Thanksgiving. What
yes,
kind of emoji could we do?
emoji last time. Leave a pair of handcuffs for escape room games.
Okay, I was like, where are we going with this?
Leave a pair of handcuffs for escape room games. Um, and please join us.
Next week,
Watch the
maybe.
community tab, but
Yes.
watch the community tab to be updated. But most likely we will be back next Friday.
Next Friday? I thought the consensus was we were going to skip
Oh, we're
next.
taking a break. That's right. See, forgot already. Forgot already. What is
Hit
this
the
nonsense?
subscribe button. He's telling you to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell like he did.
I'm not used to seeing my face being. But yes, we are taking a break next week to
And then
get
we will be
our
back.
Christmas wish lists together.
So
And
that's
then,
fine.
yes, get your Christmas wish list together. And then the following week, which will be the first week of
December.
December. Are we
It
sure?
will be Wednesday coffee clutch. I think so. Where's my calendar?
Barring any
Yeah.
strange things, we should be. Oh, and I got a dentist appointment next week too. Yeah, we need to take a break. 'Cause I've got a dentist appointment on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So, barring anything, you should see us on December 6th.
Yes. For Wednesday coffee clutch.
Wednesday Coffee Klatsch, which we have to change all the branding. But you should see us on December 6th. We will also put a note in the community tab.
And keep an eye open. Maybe we'll open a game of crossword on Wednesday.
Just keep an eye out. But thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. We about to go play some Oculus. About to go hit some stuff.